When we look at bounties, they are both important and unimportant. Reason being because bounties aren't 100% accurate in their assessments. We know that bounties aren't necessarily all about how strong someone is, but how dangerous they are to the world government. Stated by Jinbei, once the bounty goes past 300 million mark, it's hard for your bounty to increase any higher afterwards. An example of someone who probably has a somewhat high bounty would be Mihawk. He's the world's greatest swordsman, so he'd be on the level of that of a Yonko, specifically around the level and strength of Shanks. However, because he's just one man without a crew, territory, etc., his bounty won't be as high as Yonko would because he's alone. Whenever the Straw Hats get a new bounty, it's something I look forward to every time, seeing not just their reaction, but people around the world's reaction. But I do feel like their bounty is a bit low for how dangerous they are at this point in this series, so I do want to talk about where I'd place them. If you guys enjoy regular anime content, then make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. With that out of the way, my name is Potential Unleashed, and let's talk about the problem with the Straw Hat Pirates bounty. I think each and every Straw Hat member's bounty is too low. For one, for there to be 3 major world government facilities in Enies Lobby, Marineford, and Impel Down, and for the Straw Hats to completely destroy Enies Lobby and Luffy what he did during the Paramount War and Impel Down, especially allowing those prisoners all to escape, is something that's never been done before. If anything, I'd argue the Straw Hats doing this is equal or even more impressive than finding the One Piece, because they directly challenged the world government and came back alive with every member of their crew intact. Now, I personally believe Oda made their bounties low simply for story purposes. And another thing with the bounties getting raised after Whole Cake Island kind of threw everything off. Don't get me wrong, the captain is 100% understandable that his bounty should be higher than everybody else, but Sanji now being higher than Zoro, and also Chopper, Nami, and Brook had feats, but their bounties didn't raise as well. I think that those who weren't at Whole Cake Island, they should have had their bounties raised by affiliation, similar to how Sanji and the others didn't do anything at Dressrosa, but they still got their bounty raised. And I love both Zoro and Sanji, but since Zoro is the vice captain, it's just weird seeing him not have the second highest bounty on the crew. Also, the world government hasn't accurately given the Straw Hats proper bounties because they didn't raise the number for different things, which I'll talk about, and give them a number for the bounty I believe each member should have had before entering Wano, because obviously their bounties are going to go up. And instead of doing a long and drawn out bounty prediction video, I'll just give my final Wano bounties at the end. I believe Chopper's bounty should have been 50 million. Chopper is probably the most disrespected member on the crew in terms of bounty. The reason his bounty is so low is because the world government, they see him as just a pet of the Straw Hats, which kind of doesn't really make much sense to me, because when the Straw Hats got separated at Sabaody with Kuma, Kizaru, and Sentomaru, they literally saw Chopper transform into a monster. So like, I don't know, how the heck do you miss something like that? But Chopper, he also defeated Kumadori, and he clashed with Big Mom on Whole Cake Island. And in the manga, Chopper has turned into Monster Point and fought Queen for a bit. We know Queen's bounty is 1.3 billion, but his main objective in this war is to be a doctor. I believe Nico Robin's bounty should have been around 500 million. Now, unlike anybody else in the crew in terms of fight, well, Robin, she ain't really done much. However, as I stated in the beginning, being strong isn't always an indication of why someone's bounty is so high. First off, when she was 8 years old, she had a bounty of 79 million because she could read the poneglyphs, and then it went up by 1 million at Enies Lobby, and I still think that was kind of low. I know she was a child, but still, with that threat, I think it should have been higher. And so like I said, she has the read of the poneglyphs, especially having access to 2 road poneglyphs. I'd have Nico Robin as a top priority in my opinion, around 500 million, and that might even be low because she's key piece to finding the One Piece and figuring out the Void Century. And in the manga, she recently fought and beat Black Maria using Fishman Karate in a new demon form we don't really know much about. I'd give Brook around the 120 million mark. Brook on Whole Cake Island was able to scratch Prometheus, and he was able to fight against Big Mom for a short period of time. Now, even though Brook hasn't really done much, simply for his recon and ice abilities, I personally think that he's worth at least 100 million. Now, in the manga, Brook hasn't really done much, and he's only fought against fodder. However, maybe he can get a proper 1v1. I don't know, maybe against Apu. Nami's bounty should be around 66 million. This is actually one of the only people I can agree that has a proper bounty. Aside from defeating Caliphate, Nami hasn't really done much. She's not as dangerous as Robin, but she is very useful. She's the definition of someone who got their bounty because of affiliation. And in the manga, she currently has Zeus on her Climatak, and she was able to defeat Oti. So depending on what Oti's bounty was, Nami could be slightly higher or around the same range. I'd say Usopp's bounty should have been around 200 million. Here's another one who I think his bounty is fine. Now, unlike Nami, Usopp, he has done more post-time skip, especially during Dressrosa, taking out Sugar and freeing all the slaves of Dressrosa. Now, in the manga, Usopp ain't done nothing. He's been very disappointing. I wish he's done more. He didn't even take out Page 1, and he hasn't really done anything noteworthy. I think Franky's bounty should have been around 150 million. Franky's someone who I think we don't give him enough love, not just about his bounty, but about him as a character. Has he done anything really noteworthy besides fighting Senior Pink? No, but in terms of strength, the only person he'd lose to would be Jinbei in the Monster Trio, and in the manga, he currently beats Sakashi, who was once a former captain of his own crew. I think Jinbei's bounty should have been around 538 million. Jinbei's bounty increased a lot off screen, well, at least the extra 38 mil, but everything else he got an increase for what he did at Marineford and Impel Down. And I think the thing that impressed me the most about him was holding back Akainu for a little bit. We know Akainu has the most offensive double fruit in the series. He also was able to block an attack from Big Mom and led an attack that sent her flying off to Sunny. Now in the manga, Jinbei took down someone who was as strong as Rob Lucci. More likely not though, Husu did get stronger as time progressed, so he probably during the post-time skip was stronger than Lucci was pre-time skip. Sanji's bounty should have been around 650 million. Sanji didn't really do much post time skip. I will say though, without the raid suit, he was destroying people like Daifuku and Oven, who'd probably be a little bit under the 3rd commander tier, probably 4th commander. Now with the raid suit, he destroyed a member of Tobiropo in Page 1, where Luffy was going to use Gear 4 to fight Ulti, and currently Sanji is fighting Queen without his raid suit, probably going to put it on eventually and use Diablo Jamba attacks with his raid suit. And we know, like I said, Queen's bounty is over 1 billion. However, knowing Oda, he'll probably have a gag for Sanji, his bounty all over again. I believe Zoro's bounty should have been around the 900 million mark. Now, I ain't trying to be a Zoro fanboy, but there's literally nobody who can handle him unless they aren't on the 1st commander level. Like Hyozu, 3 members of the Supernova, they all got no diff by him. And even when he cut Pika, it was stated his palm was the size of the town. His palm. So imagine how big of a cut it was doing it from his torso. And just because he's Luffy's vice captain, he should be much higher than everyone else but the captain. Now currently Zoro in the manga, he's scarred Kaido, but we don't know what else he's going to do in the war. I think Luffy's bounty should be around the 2.2 billion mark. Where do I even start? He didn't get the recognition for beating someone who Oda stated to be around 500 million if he was on the Blue Sea in and now. Didn't get a bounty raise because of Moria. I think his raise during Marineford was a little underwhelming as well. It should have been a little bit higher. Plus he didn't get credit for taking out Cracker either. And in the manga, aside from Zoro, I think Luffy has been the most impressive in fighting Kaido and Big Mom. Now we know CP0 is in Wano and they are keeping track of the fight, talking about people switching sides, Jinbei taking out Husu, Luffy and Kaido, etc. So they know who defeats who and who's fighting who. So here are the bounty predictions that I think will happen for the strikes. Luffy will be around 3.2 billion, Zoro about 1.51 billion, Sanji around 997 million, Robin around 1 billion, Jinbei at 650 million, Franky at 266 million, Brook at 183 million, Chopper either 1,000 if Oda does the gag or a 1 million mark, Usopp at 300 million, Nami at 110 million, and Yamato if she decides to join the crew and she is fighting Kaido right now holding his own, I'd say around 500 million. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about the bounties in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out a new video from it. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. It's on the screen in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.